now our segment move towards the business session. Before that, I would like to ask all the experts to just say hi to all the participants and introduce themselves. I can start from Professor Mustafa Azad Kamal.
Hi, so good morning, everybody. So this is Professor Mustafa Azad Kamal. I'm the Dean of the Business Faculty at Bangladesh Open University. So I will conduct a session, I think on day 4 on FUIA. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa Azad Kamal. And next I'm moving towards the Dr. Nisha Singh ji.
थैंक यू मानस जी. नमस्ते सबको, पार्टिसिपेंट्स को और नेगी सर को, मधु मैम एंड एवरीबॉडी डिग्निटरीज इन द पैनल. मैं डॉक्टर निशा सिंह हूँ, डिप्टी डायरेक्टर की तरह काम कर रही हूँ सेंटर फॉर ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन. आई एम निशा सिंह, वर्किंग एज डिप्टी डायरेक्टर इन सेंटर फॉर ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन इन इग्नू, इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी. आई विल बी विद यू walking through the workshop with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nisha Singh. And now I would like to invite Dr. Ajit Kumar.
Hi, friends and colleagues. I am Ajit Kumar. I work with IGNOU School of Education as assistant professor. I'll be taking 2 sessions, one on Google Classroom and the other on how you can communicate educational content through the very popular social media tools. So I'm looking forward to have very interactive and hands-on sessions. And I take this opportunity to wish both SEMCA and the Open University of Uttarakhand for bringing up such a online workshop on a very important topic at this COVID-19 time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ajit. Now, last but not least, I would like to invite Dr. Ashish Avadia, and kindly introduce yourself, and over to you for your business session.
Thank you, Professor Pant, and thank you all. So now I'll share my screen.
While you are sharing your screen, I would like to request all the participants, please listen to our expert, as well as if you want to ask any question, you can put your question on question answer box, number 1. Number 2, you can raise your hand using hand symbol, and definitely our experts and I will also assist you to speak with the experts and speak with the other participants. Thank you. Over to Ashish.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Manas, and thank you very much all the participants. And so now I hope you are able to see my screen. Dr. Manas, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So technology to reach and teach the learners. So basically in this session, we are going to discuss some 2-3 points. The first point will be how to reach to the learners using simple and free tools. There are many tools available, but they are not very user-friendly, or they are somewhat not economic. So we will be using simple technology, and we will learning how to use very simple technologies to reach to the learners. Using same technologies, how we can teach our learners, how can disseminate our content to the learners, as well as assessment of the learners using those simple technologies. Now, why we are talking about these technologies now? These technologies are available, but during this time, COVID-19, this problem is more severe. Learners across the world are not able to access to the learning materials. They are not able to access educational institutes. They are not able to reach their instructors to get proper guidance, as well as they are not able to appear in the examinations. As you are seeing, many board of exams are struggling to conduct their examinations. UGC NET, civil services exam, many exams have been withheld. Now this situation is more severe to ODL institutions, because of ODL institutions have large number of learners, and the learners have huge difference in social cultural background. Also, those open universities lack high-end technologies and they have inadequate infrastructure. And only in this time, considering all those hurdles, technology is a solution to address all these challenges. And there are very simple tools available for the learners. One of these tools are Google Educational Apps. Google Educational Apps are very easy to use. I think most of us are using Google Educational Apps either through our mobile or to our system. All those Android-based mobile are having Google tools. These are scalable. There is no limit of learners. We can use these apps for n number of learners. They are compatible to all the devices. Collaboration is very easy using these tools. These can be deployed all kind of files. Either you can use Word file, PDF file, audio file, video file, any sort of file are supported by Google Educational Tools. So any kind of learning, any kind of instructional design can be facilitated through these Google apps. Using Google apps, assessment and analytics is very easy. These are free and economic. Now, considering these points, I would focus on compatibility. You know, these mobiles are very easily compatible with mobile. Now, where we say that we have less infrastructure, every learner do not have a laptop, no problem. But various studies says that huge number of learners are having mobile phone, and this is very important that Google tools are easily compatible with mobile phone. Another point I would like to say that these 2-3 things like easy to use and usefulness, these are 2 components which help these Google apps to stand by the technology acceptance model. This technology acceptance model has been given by Davidson in 1980s, which says that any technology which is easy to use and useful will be adopted by the audience, by the people. So both these parameters are fulfilled by Google Educational Apps. Therefore, these apps are very popular and very useful for educational purposes. Now, think of a classroom. What happens in the classroom? In a classroom, there is a teacher who comes in the class and demonstrates something. The teacher also gives some textbooks to the learners. There is a discussion among teacher and learner. There is a discussion among learner to learner. And at the end, there is an assessment in the classroom. So we can see there are 4 components in any classroom. One is demonstration, one is text material, one is discussion, and one is assessment. But during the COVID-19 time, these all things are not possible face-to-face mode. So what happens? These Google tools help us in putting all those components together in one platform. The first platform we discussed about in classroom, that is video, animation, or demonstration, that can be done through YouTube. Text material, it can be accommodated through Google Docs. Discussion forum, it can be accommodated through Google Groups as well as Google Meet. And assessment can be done by Google Forms and Google Quizzes. Now, there is a question that, okay, these tools are available, but what research says about this? And what are the practical uses? Has these tools been used in any practical scenario? So the first answer to your first question, that what research says about the Google tools in education. So there is a lot many research literature available. I have also given some literature at the end of this PowerPoint. This research says that Google tools are easy to use. It supports social constructionism, as well as it promotes self-regulation to the students. It provides real-time collaborative learning environment for efficient discussion. It encourages learner-centered learning environment. It increases opportunity for sharing of knowledge. It fosters knowledge building and organization. It inculcates positive attitudes toward collaborative learning, and it improves writing abilities. You can see very many studies which have used Google Educational as a experimental research, and they came out with all those findings. Now, what about practical scenario? If we talk about how practically these Google apps have been used in educational scenario, so there are two components, I would say. One is Google Classroom. I think Dr. Ajit will take you during this session, next session, that about Google Classroom. You will see how Google Classrooms are being used in educational. So this Google Classroom is basically at the back end. All Google apps are there at the back end of Google Classroom. So this is one example of practical example. Another is Swayam. Swayam is a platform of Indian MOOCs which provides huge number of MOOC courses through online mode. And this whole component, this whole system is based on Google. Whole component is based on Google. All those quarters like videos, text material, discussion forum, and assessment, all those based on Google applications. So these are the two examples of practical use of Google educational apps. Now, these are the references. Now we will basically begin to how practically we can use Google application. Yeah, hope till now I am clear.
Yes, Ashish, you're clear.
Okay, now I will move to the practical session, how we can use Google educational apps. So using Google apps, what I will do, first I'll move to my inbox. I move to my inbox and you can see this is my inbox. And at the right hand, you can see these buttons. Once I click on this button, I will move, you can see this drive icon. I click on this drive icon. You can see my drive is open. So this is Google Drive. It helps you to access all your content from any part of the world. This whole Google Drive works on cloud environment, on cloud technology, which gives you access to all your component, all your data through the cloud, and you can access all your content through the cloud. Now, first we will see how we can use Google educational apps for creating document as well as disseminating those documents to the learner. Now, this is my Google Drive. You can see lot many things are there. This is my drive, your computers shared with me. So anybody has shared some documents with me, I can see those documents. This is storage, and these are the files which I am using. Now, to begin with, we first start with Google Docs. I click on new. Once I click on new, I can see Google Docs. I click on Google Doc. One new document is being opened. Are you able to see? This is new document which is opened. Now this document is very similar to a Word document which we use normally in offline mode. But this document is online mode, and we can see all the features of Word which are available in this online document. The first thing we will do to give the name of this document, this is the untitled document. What I will do, first I'll give the title of this document. So the title of this document is Workshop on Technology to Reach and Teach the Learners. Now, similar to Word document, I can also use copy, paste, and other things, editing in this document. Like this is the component. If I want to make bold, I can make it bold. I can make it underline. I can make it colored. Whatever I can do, in the Word, I can do it. So these are very simple technology. I have also used a YouTube video to how to create a Word document on Google Drive. Now, we will see how to share this document. So once you are done with your document, suppose I want to know how many participants in this workshop are. So maybe I'll write this topic. Please write your name and the institute. Now what I will do, I'll click on share. Once I click on share, you can see share this document with people and group. Add people. Now what I will do, Dr. Manas has given me email IDs of all the participants. What I will do, I'll take the email ID of all the participants. I click here. And see, I have copy pasted all those documents, all those email IDs here. And I will write a message. Dear participants, please work on this document using your mobile phone. So this document I have created, I am sharing this document to all the participants of this workshop. This is the icon for notify people. So I click on this, so you will get an email regarding this. I send you an email. Now email has been sent. Now I request all the participants to just check your email, just click on the document, open the document on your mobile phone or on your Word document and just write your name, and you can see how we can work on a single document collaboratively. I can see around 5 to 6 people who have been accessed: Miss Roshni, Miss Manjari Agarwal, Dr. Roshni, yes. Now you can see people across the world, Uttarakhand, from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka, from India, from Delhi, they are working on the same document. See, Dr. Preeti Bora, I can see Mr. Imran Khan, Subramaniam Khedika. So you can see on the one document being collaborated from India, Delhi, 3 countries are working together. So this is the beauty of Google Apps. Without spending much money, we are able to work on a single document. Many universities are working this Google App collaborative activity for giving collaborative projects to their students. And they found that these collaborative projects were more fruitful, more outcome based when it was given using Google Docs rather than giving traditional mode. See how many participants are there. You can see that there is no limitations of number of the participants, and number of participants can work on a single document at any given point of time. One more thing is that there is no need for synchronous working on this document. You can work on this document at any point of time. You just need to log into your Gmail ID, click on this Google, go to your Google Drive, click on this document, and you can work. Okay, now I think all the participants have practiced it. You can practice it later. Now we will move to another part of the session. Hope it is done. So I am now closing it. Now what I will do, similar way, like we have created a document, we can also upload a file. So suppose you want to share some file to your learners. What we will do, we'll click on new. We will click on file upload. So I am uploading a file for this classroom, you can see the file is being uploaded. This is the file. This is the file I have uploaded. This is a paper on how Google Apps have been used in collaborative concept mapping. This you can use for further reading. Now what I will do, I'll see how I can share this document to my learner. What I will do, I'll click on share. Once I click on share, once I see the click on share, I go to copy link. See, you can see this is the link, and there are options. You can see whether you can put a restricted access or you can anyone with link. So simply we can put anyone on internet with this link can view. This is the best option which is used for teaching learning purpose. If you want to share any document to your learners, simply what we will do, we'll copy this link and I will save this link to my clipboard or some Word document so that later on I can share this to my learners. So this way we can, now our first step is to save this link in some Word document or some notepad. We can save this link. Now this is done. Now our second step is, so we in the session we learned about that there are 4 components in the classroom. One is video, one is text, one is discussion forum, and one is assessment. So one component, that is text, we have been saved. Now what we will do, we will create a video. We will see how can we share a video to the learners. Before that, we have to go to YouTube. I think you already know about YouTube. So once you go to YouTube, you see here. I hope everyone is able to see this link. Dr. Maharaj, yes, Dr. Ajit?
Yes,
so,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I click on create option. Once I click on create option, I can see 2 icons. One is go live, one is upload video. Go live is for giving live video to your audience, to your learners. When you have a large number of learners, you can directly go live and take a class on YouTube. Otherwise, you have an option to create your video, edit it properly, and share this. So I click on upload video. Once I click on upload video, I am directed to this screen. See, I am on this screen. It says select file. So I go here. I select one file from my system. I have created one small video from my mobile phone, that introduction to quiz. I click on this video, and this document is, this YouTube video is uploaded. Now description we can write video for SEMCA UOU workshop. Now you can see processing videos. So what YouTube does, while you upload your video, it processes your video. It actually, during the processing, it improves your video quality. Like if you see my original video on mobile phone, it is quite shaken because my daughter recorded it. So it is quite moving. But when YouTube processes it, it enhances the quality of your video. That is inbuilt software. You can create some thumbnails if you want to add. Now, these are 2 important points I want to show you. You click on more options. Once you click on more options, this is very important, tags. See, these tags are actually the metadata for your YouTube video. This metadata help you to be identified, to be searched by the people who are searching such kind of video. So you have to give properly keyword so that a learning community or anybody on YouTube can search it properly. So in tags, I can write Semka UOU. You have to give the keywords by using comma. These are very important so that your video is being searched properly. You get more hits. I can write Google quiz. I can write workshop. So these are 2-3 keywords. Now, one more thing, license and distribution. I think on the day 4, Dr. Mustafa will be discussing more about this. So you can give different type of licensing. One is the standard YouTube license and one is Creative Commons attribution. So if you want to your video to be shared by other people very easily, so you can give this Creative Commons license. I am giving this license, and then I click on one more thing, that is category. Category, you search on education. See, this is education. So these are 3 important things when you upload your video. One is tag, one is category, and one is rights. And now I click on next. Now this screen comes whether it is private, you want to make it publish or unpublished. So presently I am putting this unlisted. Anyone with video link can see your video. So only person who is having your video link can see this video. And I will copy this link from here. My link is copied. I click on save. My video is saved now. I can share using these different social networking tools, which Dr. Ajit will be taking at the end. So I have already copied the link. Now I close it, and that link I will save in my system, in my Word document. Hope till now I am clear. Hello, Dr. Nisha, Dr. Manas?
Yeah,
you're clear.
Yes, sir.
Clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So till now, what we have learned, we have created one Word document and we have created one video. So 2 components of a classroom, that is demonstration or a video or text material we have created, and we have created a link. Now our third aim comes, that is how to disseminate these videos. So for that, we will go to create a Google group, which is actually very helpful for
Dr. Ashish. I can add something here before going to this segment. There is a question which is Roshni asking from Sri Lanka. What's the advantage of sharing the link rather than sharing the document itself? Because this is completely related to this segment which is you are demonstrated.
Yeah, actually by sharing the link, you are actually sharing the document. Rather than sharing a document to the large number of participants, you are sharing a link so that that document is there in their Google box, Google Drive. So they don't need to download it. They simply go to their drive and they can see their document. If you send it by email, they have to download it, and then data consumption will be more.
Ashish, I think it can also be that the file can be heavy. If you have a document, if you just give a link, then it is the link can be opened anywhere. But if you put the whole document there,
yes,
that makes your whole system maybe heavy, or that file is heavy, right?
Correct.
That can also be one of the reasons.
Yes. If you go to Google Drive, you simply click on the link, your document will be opened on the web page itself. There is no need to download it. So that will save your data. That is very important. And sometimes your mobile phone is not compatible to Word document also. In that case also, giving the link will be useful.
Ma'am, another thing I just want to add is, you will always get an updated version of the document.
Yes.
So if there is any addition, you will get the updated version.
So I hope the question is answered. Dr. Manas, shall I move?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, please.
So we have created a Word document, link of the Word document. We have created a video, link of that video. And the answer also implied to video also. Because if you send the video through mail, downloading that video, every learner is downloading that video will be very difficult, and it is too much data consuming. So that we upload that video in YouTube in one place, and user go to that place by link and they access that video. So now how to disseminate that video, how to start discussion forum on that, we create one more tab and we type groups.google.com, we click here. Yes. Once we click here, we get this screen. You can see there is a option for create a group. So why I am creating a group? Before, every time if you want to send a mail or any information to learners, you have to copy and paste the all email ID to your email box to your compose in mail, and then you have to send. But sometimes what happens, bulk mails are not accepted by Gmail or any mail. So that will also create a problem. By chance, you can also skip some email IDs. Also, you have to segregate different email IDs to the different group of learners. So in this case, group help you to avoid all such problems. In this case, we create a one group. Let's see how to create a group. Just click on create group. Once you create a group, you get a screen. First point you have to add, that is group name. So we write SEMCA UOU International Workshop 2020. So this is the name of your group. You can see this is the email address of the group. You can also see the group. Now this is the group description. We write this group is for SEMCA UOU workshop participants. Now you go down, you see group type. Once you click on group type, you see 4 components, 4 options: email list, web forum, question and answer forum, and collaborative inbox. So in educational system, we usually use these 2 components, email list or web forum. These are generally for more similar people discussing on a topics, and this is also similar thing. So email list is very important. Email list provide you 2 sort of option. One is one-way information, another is two-way information. Both type of information is available on email list. Similar way, web forum also, it creates a topic and then you can discuss on the topic. So for educational purpose, for teaching learning purpose, it is recommended you select the email list. Once you create this email list, There's a basic permission, group visibility. So I'm not touching these things. I'm keeping as it is. You can see who can view the topics. You can see how the group visibility will be there. So you can write anyone on the web. Who can join the group, anyone on the web, only invited users, only one can ask. You can write only invited users. So this is your restriction to the group, so that anybody, unwanted people cannot join. Only a person who is given invitation can join. However, in case your learning is open, so you can click here, anybody on forum, anybody on web, they see the group and they can join. I click here. Now I click on create. Once I create on document on that thing, it asks, I'm not a robot. You have to click here, click on continue. Now your group is created. SEMCA UOU International Workshop 2020 group created. Now you can do three things: invite your people, customize group settings, you can add topic and start discussion. You click on OK. Once you click on OK, there are some other points to ask, whether you want to use this group name or you want to use your own name. You can write here nickname SEMCA UOU. And we can click on save changes. So our group is ready. You can see there are three more things: manage group, manage members. So first we will manage group. As of now, we don't have any member. So first we will see manage group, what we can do. Once we click here, manage group, we click on members. So you see two important points, that is invite members or direct add the members. So I have email IDs of yours. So what I will do, first I will invite some members. At one time, you can only invite 10 people. So I have clicked on 10 email IDs on 10 people. I can write invitation manage. Please join this group and send invite. So you have to write comma. Every email should be comma separated. So you have to type comma in this. So I have sent invitation to 10 people. Now just check your email. You might have got email to join the group. There is one more option, direct add the members. So if you have a large number of email IDs, you can directly add all those email IDs. Just check your email if you have got. So I have added all those email IDs, and it says use this feature carefully, only add people you know. Using this feature for sending unwanted mail can result in account deactivation. So you have to be careful and invite only people who are your HL learners. So it is asking for comma separation. It will take time. So what I will do, I'll add some commas. So these are some practical glitches which we get because we don't have too many email IDs. So these are, I'm trying to put more commas so that most of you get so I'm sending these people. So I have added only, I can only add 10 people, so I'll remove some people. So now I have sent invitation to around 20 people, 16 people. Now we will move to the how we can disseminate information to those learners. Now I go to my group. Now I go to my group and I click on new topic. Once I click on new topic, this is the new topic. So now you have to, this is a planning activity. You have to plan your class, how you want to communicate to your learners accordingly, what you want to communicate on week 1 or day 1, what you want to communicate on week 2, what you want to communicate on week 3. This you have to decide first. So in the first phase, the day 1, what I am doing, I am sending a group message to all my participants saying that you introduce with each other. So I am writing subject, welcome topic. Then I'm writing the text on this. So dear learner, welcome to the module 1. Please introduce yourself in the group. Now you see the type of post, because I have written my learners that please introduce yourself in the group. So it will not be an announcement. You see, there are two things. One is announcement, one is discussion. If I click on announcement, learners or your group members will not be able to discuss on this. It will be a one-way message. So it should be a two-way message. I click on start discussion and I click on post. So just check your mail. You might have got one email saying that start discussion, start introducing yourself. Now this is suppose our first communication. Our next communication, we can send our document, what we created. So I have a link of that document. So what I will do, I'll write a text of the document. Now you see, in the first instance, we have uploaded one PDF to the drive. Now how we can share? We are not uploading any document. We are only sharing a link. So using that link, every learner can directly access that PDF file. So dear learners, please find the e-text for module 1, Google Doc of the course on Google Educational Applications. Now I click on post. All those members will get the second. See, now this is the chronological mails are coming. Our first mail was introduction to the learner, and the latest was document. So the old mail will come below, and the second latest mail will come on recent. Now I again click on new topic. We have communicated our document. Now we will communicate our video. So this is the subject. Video link or for module 1. Now we paste that text here. Now you see what video we have created, uploaded on YouTube. The link of that video is here. So again, we are not sending a particular video to the learners. We are only sending a link to the learners, which is available on YouTube. So learners will go and directly see on YouTube, and YouTube consumes very less amount of data to play a video. And even according to your available bandwidth, it reduces the size, display size of your video. It may reduce to SD, standard density, or high HD video. So I click on post. Now you see all our posts are coming chronologically. 12/16, 12/17, and 12/18. First we sent a welcome link. Second, then we sent e-text, and then we sent a module. So this way we have sent a 3 posts. Now what we can do, suppose you want your learners to go for discussion. So again, I'll type one more post to inculcate the discussion among the learners. How we can do this? We click here, discussion module. Dear learners, please discuss among yourselves. In this case, what we have to do, again, we have to click on start discussion, and then we can post. So till now, what we have done, we have sent first mail for discussion among the learners. Second mail is e-text. Third mail is video module. And you can see there is a discussion by Bora Preeti. She has created a post. You can discuss among. So this way, that discussion among the learner is encouraged. So till now, we have completed 3 things: document creation, video creation, and group creation. So three component of a class, that is video, text, as well as discussion, is completed. Now we will move how we can go for assessment of the learners. Till now, is it okay? Any questions, Dr. Manas?
There were questions that some people didn't receive your email, so I had written them that maybe their email address is not there. So those are basically the main questions.
Yes. So what I will do, if those mails are not there, you can write in this Google form, which I have shared, and I will send I will send email to you. So we will finally, and today we will complete this group with all the participants. So you are requested to write your email, Gmail, on the first document which I shared with you. So shall I move now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Ashish, I think we have to move because we are left with only maybe just 10 to 20 minutes, 10 to
Yes,
15
yes.
minutes rather.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'll quickly finish how to do assessment. For that, what I will do, now we have finished the 3 component. Now we will move to the assessment part. How we can use assessment. I click here. I click on more. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. I click on more. Then there is a icon of Google Forms. I click on Google Forms. Once I click on Google Form, you can see again the untitled form. First, I'll give a title of this form. Assessment for Google educational apps. Assessment of, now for making quiz, one important point is you have to go to settings. This is very important point you have to remember. Otherwise, many people while making quiz, they end up making form. So you have to go to settings, then go to quizzes. Go to quizzes, and on this icon, it says make a quiz. And there are some points like immediate releasing grade, all those things. You can simply keep it as it is. Simply click on make a quiz, then go to general and click on collect email address. Collect email address so that you can send your learners the email address of their learners so that you can release the grades to them. And response received, you can send them response received. It is done. You have to click on save. So this is the email. This is the first point. It is asking email address. Then you ask your name. Here you have to select short answer. Your name, your short answer. Now, what you have to do, you have to click on add. Now, this is very important, how to add a question. See carefully. What I will do, I'll type a question. This is the question, which Google apps allow me to create a quiz, poll, or survey. Then you have to click on options. I click on options. 4 options I have typed. These options I have already copy pasted in my Word document, and I am pasting these documents from there. Now I have written the 4 options. Now very importantly, you see this answer key. You have given the 4 answers. You have to tell the system what is the right answer. Then you click here. So our answer is Google Form. So this is the right answer. And how much point you want to give to this question? Suppose we may give it 5 marks question. I click on done. So your one question is ready, MCQ, and 5 points. Now you can add one more question. I click here. I write the answers. Then again, multiple choice question. I have to click on answer keys. The answer to this question is Google Sheets, and marks I will give 5 marks. This is the multiple choice question. Now again, I will add one subjective type question. Please explain about Google Drive in 200 words. Now, this is a subjective type question. Here you have to select paragraph. Once you select a paragraph, you click on answer and then give points. Maybe we can give 10 points. So 5 marks, 2 multiple choice question, and 10 marks, 1 subjective question. And I click on done. So my question is ready. So I'm creating right now, I'm creating only 2 questions. My question is ready. Now, if I want to see how my question appears, you can see email address, your name. These are the 2 questions, and this is the subjective question. Now, how to assess those learners? Assess our learners using this form. I click on send, and this is an option for link. You can send these by email also. Maybe I'll try if I can send this to all email without comma separation. I'll try. No, I think you can send without any comma separation. So what I will do, I'll click here. I click on this link and I will send to the group members. So I have saved this link. Now what I will do, I'll again go to Google Groups. Now this is my group, UOU Simca International Workshop. I create a new topic, new post. Now I'll share the assessment with you. And I post it. Now I request all the participants, those who have got the mail, please check the mail of assessment and solve the assessment. Please solve the assessment. We will see how it appears. Till now, we have not received any response.
I would like to add here that all the participants, your query is you are not added in the your email ID is not added. Please, I would like to inform you that Dr. Ashish only added randomly few people
Yes.
in this to demonstrate these things. So you need not worry. You can practice yourselves. Taking the email IDs from yourself, you can practice the sessions.
Dr.
And
Ashish,
you can put in queries in your WhatsApp group. Number 1,
Yeah.
and other people's, those who's added, and they can also respond and participate in the demonstration. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ashish,
Yeah.
you can also put that link into the WhatsApp group if it's open.
Yes, I will do that. So you can see there are 3 people who have responded. Okay, now 3 people have responded. We can see the summary. What is the total score? Average score is 7.5. See this. And your Vijitha, Imran Khan, Mr. Farooq Hussain, Dr. Gagan, Asma, these have responded to the question. Out of these people, 7 people have responded to first question, right answer. 7 question, 5 people have responded second question, right answer. And these are the question answer to the subjective assignment. Now, just see, this is the summary. I can see the progress. So far, 8 responses have been received. Now, very important thing I want to show, go to individual. This is Vijitha. Miss Vijitha has given this. The first answer to her first question is correct. Second question is incorrect. And she has given, she has not written anything on this. So what I will, here I can give assessment marks because she has not written anything. Maybe I'll give her 1 mark for attempting those questions. Then I go to next person. See what he has written. He has written, it is a cloud storage system that allows to upload and share documents. So he has written points. I give her 5 marks and I click on save. So this way, there are 2 components of the question paper. One is multiple choice, which is auto graded, and one is subjective question, which I have to grade. So collect 1 by 1, I am grading. So I have graded second person. Now I go to third person. That is Farooq, Hamdard University, Mr. Farooq. Farooq has written something. This is good to share. So I click him and I give him 3 marks. Once I click on marks, it asks me to save. Now I go to fourth person. What he has written. He has written something. I click, I give him 5 marks. I click on save. So this way, what I can do, I can check all the marks of the students. Now the second point comes to release a score. I go here and I can click on the email IDs which have been given the answer and I can release a score. So suppose these first 3, 4 people has given the responses. I can select those responses, email and release. So all these 3 email ID, they again see their email. They will see their email with their scorecard. In those 2-3 people to whom I have released the score, they have got the score. Now I have, till now I have got 11 responses. So similar way, you can assess your learners. You can what are the lacuna in the questions. How many students responded to the correct answer? How many wrong answer? You can do every analysis. You can also separate out the whole responses as an Excel sheet. So this is how we can use Google quizzes for assessing our learners. We can use this for topic wise, module wise, week wise, whatever you want, you can assess those learners. So I hope this is done. I will add remaining people. I'll add into the group and I'll also add this link to them so that they can also use this link for assessment. Over to Dr. Manas. Anything?
Yeah, okay. I think, Manas, you will, I'll just say 1 or 2 statements.
Yeah, please, madam.
Ashish, you completed today's task. This is only for now. You all have to practice. So maybe tomorrow we'll take up another session. Any questions you have, you can always ask the experts in the WhatsApp group. But these were the things which I think Ashish presented it well. Thank you.
Madam, can we open 2-3 questions, because we can spend another 5 minutes. If anybody wants to share anything or ask any questions from Bangladesh, India and Sri Lanka, please unmute your mic and you can speak. I allowed randomly few people, they know very well. You can just unmute your mic, you can speak. Yeah, please. Professor Candy, please. Professor Candy, you can speak.
The thing is, when we have the examination or assessment, then we'll have to specify with the time. So when we really put the time on the students, how do we really manage the time with the Google form, filling up the assessment or doing this assessment?
See, when you, suppose you want to give them 2 days time, you can ask, you can write on your email that complete within 2 days, and there is option for submit once or submit multiple. So it is again up to you whether you want your learners to be submit their answer one time or multiple time. And after 2 days, you there is an option to close the question. So after 2 days, you go and close the question. You can, they can, after closing, no student can submit their answers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And anyone, any other one? Farooq, you can ask question. Farooq.
Thank you very much for nice presentations, and that helps us very much how to teach or how to connect our students to the online platform. And I want to extend my gratitude from the Hamdard University Bangladesh to the organizing team of these sessions. Just I would like to ask a questions to the how can I stream our live class in the Google Classrooms? Is it possible to take the live classrooms except a Google IG assessment, class assessment, like, please?
Live assessment. It is sort of live
assessment. Live classrooms, yes.
Live?
Right.
Live what?
Ashish is asking
live streaming. I think live streaming he's asking.
I think you can
about the live
Google
streaming.
Meet
How
for
to...
that.
Yes, there are 2 options. You can use either YouTube live streaming, which I demonstrated. I showed the icon. You can simply go and click on streaming. You can stream your video. But before that, you have to authenticate your email ID, because when you first time go for live streaming, Google asks for some authentications. Then after, you can go for live streaming. Another thing, you can go to Google Meet. Google Meet has now opened for all the Gmail IDs. Earlier, it was only giving access to G Suite, but now it is open for all, and you can at a time to our meeting to around 100 participants at one go. But if you want to go for live streaming more than 100 people, you can go for YouTube live streaming, as well as there is an option in Facebook also. You can go for Facebook live streaming, and there is no limit for the learners.
Jyoti wants to ask question.
Thank you very much.
You can ask a question. I think there is no one. Then now over to Professor Parar for closing remarks, and we will move for the next session in our WhatsApp group and Moodle session.
Okay, friends from Uttarakhand Open University or any part of India, colleagues from Sri Lanka, various universities, from Bangladesh, from various universities, all my expert colleagues and Manas and my colleagues in SEMCA, Monica Nagpal and all. So basically what we did today, we had spent almost 45 minutes on the inauguration. We listened to Professor D.P. Singh, Honorable Chairman of University Grants Commission. Though there was some problem with the video initially, we are apologies to all of you, but we were able to listen it to later on. Then we listened to the Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Open University and our colleagues from Uttarakhand Open University. We began with that, and the second session, or the first technical session, if you say so, was by Ashish Avadia on using the Google tools, basically. I'm sure few of you must be knowing, or some of you were not aware of it, but it is just a practice. Just go try, add your email, student's email, connect with them, send them the messages, send them a small video which you can create it on your mobile, and you start learning it. That is the advantage actually, is unless and until we don't practice, we will not be able to achieve what we learn. And that's what mainly the technology is. Technology is not like if I just come and make a speech or speak something and then that's it. So that's that's a lower order thing. Unless and until we apply that, you do the application part of it, we will not be able to do how it is done and be able to reach to the learners. So with these, I think we will come to an end. Thank you so much to Ashish and other colleagues for the presentation. Tomorrow we look forward to again another interesting presentation, and we will come online at 10:30. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Jitendra is there, Dr. Jitendra is there from Uttarakhand Open University. He would like
Dr. Gopal is there. Dr. Jitendra, he left. Dr. Gopal, if you want to have any announcement for further sessions, Dr. Gopal, I think he's
hello.
Not. Yeah. Please, Dr. Gopal.
Audible? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now we'll meet on the next session tomorrow. And if any doubt related to today's session having among the participants, we can resolve them using WhatsApp group, I think so. So the session was very interesting, very useful for all of us. I think the same for the participants, and all the best and best wishes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gopal. And it is very clear that we all meet after lunch in WhatsApp group. It's completely as per your pace and your timing. And our learned experts will be in WhatsApp group helping you out and do practicing on these sessions. And tomorrow morning we are going to meet with Dr. Ajit Kumar on Google Classroom, and he will enlighten us more and more on this area, integrating of the Google Classroom in the Google's applications. Thank you very much, and continue our learning. Thank you very much.